Being single is basically a tax, like a real structural financial penalty that nobody talks about, and it adds up to tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime.
It's mental, isn't it? You're already sad and lonely, and then society goes, also, here's a surcharge.
Exactly. The loneliness is free, the bill is extra.
Welcome to Sunk Cost. Two friends, one mic, and a lot of opinions about money and modern life. I'm Alex. Sophia's here as always, and we dig into what things actually cost us in money, time, energy, all of it, and whether any of it's actually worth it. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today we're asking the question nobody wants to admit is a question. Why does being single cost so much more? Sophia, let's get into it. Is the single tax real, or are we just making excuses?
Oh, it is absolutely real. It's not a vibe, it's math. You split rent, you split utilities, you split a Netflix account, you split a Costco run. Every fixed cost in your life gets divided by 2 if you're coupled up. When you're single, you eat the whole thing yourself.
Right, and it's not just the obvious stuff like rent. It's the weird hidden costs nobody talks about. Like, I had to call a plumber last month. Just me. Full price. Jess and I used to split that kind of thing. Not just the bill, like the mental load of even dealing with it. Now I'm standing in my flat going, is the boiler meant to sound like that? And it's all on me, mate.
Okay, so what did the plumber cost you?
240 quid for 40 minutes. He had a van with a sunset painted on it, and I still paid it.
The sunset should have been a warning.
It really should have been. But that's the thing. When you're coupled up, someone else absorbs half the chaos. The flat, the car, the random Tuesday disasters. When you're single, every disaster is a solo project.
And housing is the biggest one by miles. The data on this is genuinely stark. In most major cities, a 1-bedroom apartment costs way more than half of a 2-bedroom. You're paying a premium just to live alone. The single supplement on accommodation, which is also a thing in travel, by the way, is basically just a formalized version of the same penalty.
The single supplement on holidays is an outrage, by the way. I booked a solo trip last year, paid almost the full double room rate to sleep by myself in a room with a king-size bed I didn't need. It's insulting.
You also probably booked it the night before, so...
That is beside the point, and we're not talking about that.
Receipts, Alex.
Okay, but here's where it gets properly weird, right? It's not just the structural stuff. There are all these invisible costs that couples share without even realizing it. The Spotify family plan, shared takeaway delivery fees. One of you buys the fancy olive oil and the other buys the washing up liquid, and suddenly you've both saved money you didn't know you were spending.
The household economy of scale is so real. Every economist who studies this knows it. 2 people living together don't spend twice what one person does. They spend maybe 1.3 times as much. So the second person is basically living at a huge discount, and the single person gets none of that.
So what's the actual number? Like, what does the single tax cost you a year?
Studies in the US have put it anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 a year in pure structural cost difference. Just housing, utilities, food economies of scale, insurance. Some estimates go higher when you factor in travel and those random, I need a whole thing but only want half a thing purchases.
In London, it's got to be worse. London rent for a 1-bed is just brutal. I pay more for my flat than some of my coupled up mates pay for a full 2-bed they split. I'm not exaggerating. It's actually not that funny when I sit with it.
No, it's not.
And yet here I am, buying oat milk lattes every morning, like that's the problem.
£4 each, 5 days a week. That's 80 quid a month, just saying.
I don't even like coffee, Sophia. I've said this.
You've said it. I've never believed it.
Okay, but I want to push on something, because I think there's an angle people dodge. The single tax is real, fine, but some of it is choices, right? Like, some people are single and absolutely smashing it. No compromises on the flat, no negotiating the thermostat, no one eating your leftovers. There's a version of this where being single is actually a financial power move.
I disagree. And I think that framing is how the narrative gets flipped to make single people feel like they should be grateful for a structural disadvantage. Yes, you have autonomy, but autonomy doesn't pay your rent. The math is the math.
No, but I'm not saying the tax isn't real. I'm saying some people frame it as a tragedy when it's actually a trade-off. You're paying more, but you're buying something. Freedom. Space. No one's terrible taste in telly to negotiate around.
That's true. But here's the thing. The people who genuinely choose to be single and feel great about it are not the ones who feel the pinch. The people who feel the pinch are the ones who are single because life happened that way. Dating is expensive. It takes time, relationships end, and on top of that emotional reality, they're also quietly getting penalized by every price structure in modern life. That's the group I care about.
That's actually fair. Because dating itself is expensive. That's its own whole budget line. Apps, going out, looking like you've got your life together when you haven't. There's a cost to even trying to fix the situation.
Right! The cost of being single includes the cost of trying not to be single. Dating apps alone, if you're actually paying for the premium tiers, can run $60, $80 a month. And I'd bet app users spend way more on appearance, going out, and dating prep than people in relationships. It's a whole shadow economy.
Dating prep? What does that even include?
Hair, clothes, gym memberships that are for yourself but really started when you got back on the apps, therapy to deal with the apps. Diego's vet bills aren't in this category, but honestly, my cat costs less to maintain than my last few months on Hinge.
Diego is well funded though, to be fair. That cat has a better healthcare plan than I do.
He does, actually. And I can't justify it. Moving on.
Okay, so here's the thing I keep coming back to though. We've been talking about this like the solution is get a partner. But there are loads of people who've solved this differently. House shares, intentional flatmates, that whole thing where friends move in together as adults on purpose. Like, is the solution to the single tax just find a different way to split fixed costs?
And a lot of people are doing that, especially in expensive cities. The rise of adult roommate culture is literally a financial response to the single tax. People who are single and not willing to just absorb the penalty are restructuring how they live, which is smart. But here's the uncomfortable part. We've built a social script where living with roommates past a certain age feels like a failure, even when it's actually the rational economic choice.
That status thing is real and it's expensive. There's a version of me that moved into my own flat, partly because I thought I should have my own flat at my age. Like, no one told me that. It was just absorbed. And I am paying, genuinely, properly paying for that status every single month.
Which brings me to my final boss take, because I think this is the thing people really don't want to hear.
Go on then.
A massive chunk of the single tax isn't structural. It's performative. It's the cost of performing singleness in a way that looks okay. Looks like you're fine. You're thriving. You've got your own place. You go out. You look good. You're on the apps, but you're not desperate. There's a whole aesthetic to acceptable singleness, and it is incredibly expensive. The couple's penalty is real, but the single person is also voluntarily paying a premium to not look like the single tax is getting to them.
That's a bit uncomfortable.
It should be, because it means part of the bill is optional. Not all of it. The rent, the utilities, the fixed costs, those are real and unavoidable. But the "I'm doing great actually" spending, that's a choice. And it's a choice that's being driven by shame, not logic.
I mean, I've definitely bought things that were, in retrospect, about not looking like I was struggling. Yeah, that tracks.
Most people have. It's not a character flaw. It's what happens when there's a social stigma attached to a financial situation. You spend to manage the stigma.
And obviously, neither of us is your financial advisor. God, please don't take money advice from me. I've got subscriptions I don't even know the names of anymore. This is just two people with opinions.
Very strong opinions, occasionally backed by actual data.
So what's the move though? Because I don't want to end on you're paying a penalty and also it's partially your fault.
The move is just to see it clearly. Know which part of your spending is the unavoidable structural cost, and accept that it's real and it's not your personal failure. And then know which part is the performative layer, the "I'm fine" tax, and make a conscious call about whether it's actually worth it to you. You might decide it is. That's fine. But at least you're deciding, not just drifting.
See it clearly. Name the thing. I like that. Even if naming it means admitting that my flat and my lattes and my solo plumber bills are all part of the same pattern.
And the sunset van. Don't forget the sunset van.
240 quid. Never forgetting it. Right, that's sunk cost for today. The single tax is real, it's structural, it's partly performative, and it's worth looking at honestly. This Friday, we're asking whether self-care is just expensive avoidance, whether the whole wellness and treat yourself economy is actually helping us, or just monetizing the fact that modern life is a bit grim. I'm hosting that one too. Sofia's going to absolutely come for me, and I cannot wait. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you Friday.
See you Friday. Bring your receipts.